Hmm. Hello, friends. Hello again. How are you doing? So today is day four of live broadcasting my learning sessions. Salesforce Agentforce with Hariom Vashisht. Today is day four, and today I'm going to keep it short, improvising on my methods. Okay. Agenda for today's session is to discuss, in short, who am I, what am I doing, what we have done so far, and where are we going. And in short, we'll also explore some of the new updates in the industry. Okay. Who am I? I am Hariom Vashisht. That reminds me of how do I describe myself? My name doesn't describe me, right? Um, who am I? I'm a researcher. I'm a product manager. I'm an entrepreneur. I am someone who deeply care about the things. So I have this notion that anything we do can be a piece of art if we care about it enough. If we iterate on it, if we look into the details, if we get into the depth of things, we can make art, right? Okay, that's the thought I'm starting with, right? So this is the kind of a project where I'm trying to create art, okay? And what is art? Everything can be a piece of art if we care about it enough, right? Okay. So I am iterating on the things slowly and slowly and slowly. And I had to do this project live because I had to push myself to go beyond my comfort zone. I had to understand that where do I stand. I understand that today maybe I don't stand anywhere. Okay. And how do I add value to the someone in the industry, right? So we'll start from here and we'll jump from the beginning of time where I started. Where do I start? We are on the day four, right? So I'm going to share my screen from you too first. And we'll also see if it is not blank. Right. So this is I am saying part three, four, and five. So this three is where I started the this 7 days live broadcast challenge. The day one, I started with what are instructions. On the second day, I realized I made a lot of mistakes in the first part, so I submitted that video to Gemini and asked for issues and areas of improvement, strengths. I went into templatizing this session and carefully moving ahead. In this third session, discussed, I actually discussed what do I know about Salesforce Agentforce, and I actually implemented my first another agent, just again dummy part. Right. Okay, so this is the podcast. It starts with multiple other pointers. There is part one where I'm actually implementing my first ever agent. Again, that was also a dummy agent where I did it live. I went live to actually do this in a very vulnerable way because I have been failing since long time before actually doing this part one. Right. What happened there was I had been failing a lot. I had been trying to I had been trying to set up my first ever dummy agent, and I was failing a lot. I was trying to change my perspective, change a lot of things, but I realized I was doing a lot of hit and trial programming. I was trying to do the programming by coincidence, which is like stupid and very bad method of actually programming. So by calling it programming, I am actually saying that setting up an agent is programming. It's a software development process, literally. We start with a goal, a hypothesis, where we do the testing at every point, and we optimize the process. Right. At the end of the day, it's a piece of software. Right. Okay. So when one and two, so if you see the details, I did it these part one and two live streamed about 12 days and 11 days ago. Then I had to find some ways to push myself. Then I chose this 7 days live broadcast challenge. And now I'm realizing that I carefully need to spend time, plan, and learn to be able to teach or express myself in these sessions. Right. So I'm slowly building up the templates and the structure of this session. So this was about this 7 days challenge. Uh, I'll now come to the project, the bigger project I'm working on, the research project. I'm sharing screen from my Notion page. Right. So this is today's. I showcase things from here. So this is the template I have built after the evolve iterations of 3 4 days. This is a template for each day where I have a checklist to prepare before the session, right? So this is kind of a documentation process I'm showcasing to the universe, right? And I'm saying I will analyze my previous sessions carefully by submitting it to the Gemini and ask for feedback. And if there is some personal observation, I'll consider that too. And I'm also noting the improvement I want to work on today itself, right? Very carefully. So for today's session, of course, I have also done something. That's about preparation. Then I'm saying I need to prepare some material for the beginners and my target audience, right? That's the template. I'm describing the template which I have developed over time, about 3 4 days of iteration. So iteration is kind of a skill which I'm showcasing here. What else? I'm also saying that I need to specify, choose, and decide the title of the video and the thumbnail, and for which actually I'm saying that I will be using the template every day, replacing the various specific parts only. What I'm saying is that by using templates, I'm decreasing the load from my head and structuring the process and building the system. Right now, I'm improving things slowly every day. So that was the template. So I used the template today. I went through the checklist. I figured a few areas of improvement. Gemini said my video lacks introduction and agenda. So I'm now shortening the sessions and putting in more structures carefully. None worked with the personal observations. That was about analysis. About material for the session, I decided to recap what exactly I'm doing and the title, right? So I decided the title had to be was like what we've done so far, where are we going, what is the command center. This is another thing I want to discuss in this session. I think I should also have a checklist for the in session so that I can be sure that if or not if I have finished my plan for the session, right? Okay. So video thumbnail is done for the day, and I think I also submitted a request to ChatGPT to update the. That's the process where I need to wait. So this is the kind of the agent. The ChatGPT, the agent is working for me to upgrade the thumbnail, right? So it's an agent. That's how we work with agents. This is my daily history where I'm working, adding updates, documenting updates every day. That's my process of doing things. Let me show you the bigger picture where what is that I'm working on. This is technically a research project with a very clear assumption that what exactly I'm trying to achieve. So I'm calling it funnels. Actually, I've renamed it recently, so I'm going to rename it here also. Is it changed here? Yes. It says research experiment funnels. It's not just funnels experiment now. And I also had to ask ChatGPT like what is the difference between research experiment funnels and experiment research funnels and funnels experiments like that. What I am now clear is that it's what I'm doing. I'm doing a research and experimentation on funnels. So it's a very uh, clear process. Before this 7 days experimentation, I had to define the sprint also. So before this sprint, I have ran two sprints before and earlier, right? And I had been developing these things. See, the agenda for previous sprint was I had to build my draft for I somehow managed to finally build an agent. I actually wanted to create more content to do it in a different way, but I could not create much content. I was able to, yeah, just build my first dummy agent. Yeah, that's about my project. Actually, let me show you the uh, hypothesis which I have documented here in this section, I guess, right? Definition of this project. Salesforce Agentforce consultant builds instead of this. This experiment explores whether publicly showcasing how I think. So this is the very clear part which I am showcasing here. Right? This experiment explores whether publicly showcasing how I think, build, and solve through a designed consulting funnel can attract aligned consulting opportunities in the Salesforce Agentforce space. They are simultaneously validating conversational systems for hiring. So there are two parts of this research experiment. One is where I'm showcasing my methods. Two is where I'm actually building an agent to change hiring industry. Uh, Shooting for the stars, biggest thought I could think of, right? Rationale. I'm not looking for work, like just not just looking for work. I'm saying I'm testing whether the way I work is valuable enough for my like for the signal for the industry. Hiring world today is not noisy, rigid, and impersonal. So this has another recent experience from the previous year, 2024, which I could be sharing, which I have shared multiple times here. I'll be talking about it in some ways as the time goes. Okay, let me see if the screen is visible. Yes. And hypothesis, right? I'm saying the conversations can replace job listings. So I'm very clearly saying that an agent can replace the job listing sites. So that's my bold statement I'm shooting for as an entrepreneur, as a founder, as a innovator, which I have reached as a status in my agent pleaser trailhead. Right? I'm saying there are two hypotheses I'm working with. If we replace traditional job listings with dynamic agent voice first conversations, we can produce better hiring outcomes because it's more of a conversation. And let me talk about conversations first also. I strongly believe that every conversation is a funnel. So if it is a conversation, you are able to listen to me for about 10 minutes. It's a funnel where you have entered with me looking for the best case scenario, right? Every conversation has a best case scenario, worst case scenario, and the general cases. So I'm working towards the best case scenario. Each conversation has got a section, right? And that is where I'm saying each conversation is a funnel, and these funnels can be optimized in a ways where uh, both the parties get the maximum out of it. And why only a conversation? So how do I define a conversation? Is that every conversation is a scientific event that yields maximum benefits for all the involved parties. If not really, um, and there are many forces of the nature acting on the conversation. Like let me also take an example. Is that if you and me are talking, my context, my life, my background history, who am I, like unique parts of me, will be engaging with your unique parts of your life, your responsibilities, your everything. And these two entities, when are trying to have a conversation, it is a real scientific event where if both the parties will get maximum out of it depends on a lot of things, the frequencies, and of course a lot of things. So it's like it cannot be simplified in a very simple way. It's a complex web of things, right? I'm also saying that if I design and build this system publicly, revealing my first principles thinking, research driven methods, systems intuition, then I can prove my value in the higher as a higher consultant. Worth premium attention. Yeah, I'm talking about premium. Because I believe in my abilities to work in a way that it's like a, it's like every team needs some kind of people who are ready to fail. I'm ready to fail every day. So this is like this session of live broadcasting. It's like I am not really ready to do it, but I'm still doing it. So recalling a note, a quote, a post from Damco, the content creator, that the builders and the content creators like us are often dumb enough to start. Like we don't really know often. Sometimes you know, we have an idea where we are going, what we are trying to create, but we are dumb enough to start. We are almost dumb to start, and we are smart enough to keep going because we know that that's all that matters, right? So I'm working with hypothesis. I'm actually working on testing these hypotheses, and also that reminds me, uh, I keep connecting dots, and I that's the necessary part, right? That's the necessary part I'm showcasing here. To showcase this thread also. These are my notes from the research posted by Behrod Sirjani, who's an independent research professional also, and who's also a research fellow partner at Reforge, improving velocity at alignment. Yeah. So what he said is that the mistake that everyone makes is when it comes to research is that you are focusing on learning rather than decision making as an ideal outcome of the of work. Right? So this research, which like I said, research funnels experiment, research experiment funnels. I have updated the name. That's why I'm not really able to recall it on the first. My slow thinking brain needs to help my fast thinking brain. Uh, and I have read multiple books on those lines. Yes, slow thinking, slow and fast. That's what I'm referencing. So when we are doing research, what he says is that we are focusing on learning rather than decision making. So I think so. I read this post by Mr. Behzoud in October 2024, and I think I have been able. I'm still trying to internalize the thought that rather than learning, focusing on learning, I try to focus on the decision making. So that is how I'm trying to evolve my experiments. This is experiment number, you saw that, 15. Some of them are still live, and I won't even get into the depth of why do I call it chapter 21. Yeah. My notes. I'm saying people have wrong approach, gather wrong data. Necessary stakeholder holders are not involved. So about necessary stakeholder is like who's my target audience? Is my stakeholder? Yes, and that is what I'm doing through these sessions. I'm talking to my audience. I'm creating content for my audience. I'm building for them. Uh, I'm trying to also teach the beginners so that I learn at this stage. My 15 years of career of software development, founding as a startup founder, and as a product manager has taught me a lot to be confident enough to keep going on the stage where there's very minimal, what do we call it? knowledge, right? We need to be able to take action when even when we have very minimal information about the context, right? So, solution, decision first, research. Work backwards. You should make decisions first, then you are doing research. When we are doing research, and he says that we have a research approach, then we have an evidence, then we have decisions. So we start with the decisions, then we look at the evidence, and we keep that loop going so that we have a effective research going on. Right? How am I actually using this information? Is that I'm taking decisions every day. So this 7 days research was also kind of a research. Why did I do it? There are 100 reasons I'm doing it live, and there are. It's also a research because I'm taking decisions with a hypothesis to push myself, talk to the audience, yeah, and not getting into the depth for everything. Start with why. That's a very important part. How do you get from learning to goal to a decision statement? Where did I get that from? I don't even remember. I imagine many of the researchers reading this get asked to go learn why are people churning and other similar questions, and you want to know how I got from there to the decision statement in the image above. The process is very straightforward and mostly involves the question why. Okay, I'm not reading from the screen right now. What is that I'm saying is that change the way you think about goals. Yeah. Why are people churning? So this is like optimizing the funnels also. What I'm offering to the clients and people in the industry is that iterations, research, documentation, vulnerability, and ability to fail, like the most stupid guy in the team and maybe the most research oriented guy in the team, so that and there is someone to take the blame if we fail, and find information and find connect the dots from the most possible, what is that, best possible ways, right? So enough of this thread for today. I'll switch to something hmm, more deeper maybe. Hmm. So let's extend that to few things that I know and few things that I want to share. How I'm able to do this, I don't know. Uh, this concept I learned recently. I'm actually sharing my learnings now for the beginners as well as for my target audience who might want to explore working with me. I learned that the concept agency inversion, what industry believes is that agency is a human trait. It's like, yeah, if I'm a leader, I should be able to do things. It comes from within me, but this concept doesn't say it like that. It says you're not the agency. Agency has you. Um, we are temporary crystallizations in the field of agency that flows through biological, social, and environmental systems. It's like how I'm able to do this live, because I have the resources, I have a environment, I have a set of things that I need to get to be able to do things this way, right? Um, so agency flows through me. I'm not saying agency. I have the agency, right? Uh, but yes, I if I'm not able to make the most out of my privileges, who am I? That's how I look at things. That's how I try to look at everything I do. It's like I should be able to make the most of what I'm doing, most of my resources to be able to meet the best case scenario in the things I do. So that's how I started the session, right? Anything can be a piece of art if we care about it enough, right? And the process is all we need. Iterations, 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 iterations. Yay! Okay, stop there. So my document had more details. I'll now jump. So this is the research where I'm describing the sprint. Now there's an execution part of it. Wow, this is a great part. Although I generated these parts with the help of ChatGPT, but yeah, they are aligning here. And there's a definition part of everything also. So it's like if we are working with a team, we need to be able to define each term we are working with, right? We define and how they connect with everything else. It's like every team has their own definition of done, and they need one, right? They need to be able to match their definitions, because if everyone has their own definition of everything else, it's like, nah, the team will not going is not going to flourish in the long term, and they are not going to be on the same page when they're working on the things, right? There are three kind of variables I'm saying in my research experiment. Independent variables where I am changing them, or testing. Dependent variables where I'm measuring, and control variables where which stays the same. So this is the necessary part where I have a very limited time of the day to work, and I am only available remotely if somebody wants to work with me. If they are interested, if they are exploring, I could be available only remotely. That's the underlying message. Scientific documentation is my core. That's my offer, and that's a control variable. It's like it doesn't change. It cannot change if your team is not working with documentation, if they're not working with I would say very clear processes, it is going to be difficult to work with, right? So I've not been really able to look at the data to be tracked, because the project is still like getting started. I'm still building the structures. I'm still building the core framework, and it's a long-term project. It's going to be going places, right? So these are the things. These are the ways in which I'm building these content, like data generation pipelines, right? So I'm going to talk about it in short. I'll also, I think, restructure few things here, because this now seems like a thing that I should be able to shorten. Track three, there are three tracks I'm working on parallelly, and which now states that I am able to structure things well, which is an important part of doing any project or an experiment. Right? So, oh, what do we have? The track three, which is the top priority, is I'm building an agent as a funnel. It's like it's the project where I'm building an agent. I'm talking about it. I'm actually building an agent to replace the job sites. So that's the top of the funnel, right? And which has a separate page also. So if we open it from here, this is the page where we were documenting our daily updates, right? Where I also had created an what should I say? Yeah, a second. Node. Okay, I'm saying this templatized way is where I'm documenting my daily updates. And what else? Wait a second. Yeah, this is the part, one part of the variables I'm managing. The second part is creating content, marketing. So this video, there are some more pages I need to manage, which are the like sub parts of this content funnel. Is that there's a web page which I have. Oh, I would like to also showcase my web page now. I don't know if it will land. So the page has been upgraded after the last session. Yes. Sharing the screen from here. Let me check if it is visible on the yes. Hi again. Is my piece is my if you can see now. My website homepage. This is nothingelsematters.com. This is my blog since 2010, and I've been managing it very carefully. I've been experimenting multiple venture ideas, so you can also see that from my about section. I'll also showcase that. Let me take a moment. From 2010, I have been writing stories here. From 2012, I had another venture which I had launched. Wayback Machine has a link to some of my ventures also. 2013, I launched another venture which I never actually wrote much, but it is there in the some form of on the internet. 2015, I launched another venture like a prototype which actually did not go anywhere. From 2015 to 2021, I was like a lone warrior roaming here and there. Of course, I joined multiple startups. From 2018 to 2025, I've worked with various startups, and that has been the core of a lot of things. I'm not going to into the depth of these chapters right now. I'll keep it short. So I'll go to the home. I'm saying these are my services. I want to offer my services to people who want to build work with agents, and this is me. This is pure me. The core part of this everything. What I if you ask me, process is all you need. Attention is all you need. Very very specific term. Like it's like a law of the nature. Right? Process is all we need, and that's what I'm offering. I have the ability to build processes and correct them to start from scratch any day required, right? And that's all we need. I have a set of things what I've prepared. Like, are we ready? Let's figure it out. I've also been building a tool to figure out if you as a client or if someone who's looking forward to start using Agent Force, how do they figure out if they are ready? So I'll start with the question: what's the hidden cost of using not using Agent Force? Right now, I get into the depth. I am saying let's check the data readiness. Hmm? And there are three possible cases from there. Are we ready? It's messy, it's inconsistent, somewhat clean. So when the data readiness is not ready, I'm saying there's a high risk, and we need to build data shadow agent so that we should be able to set up the basics of data readiness. And when we are saying we are maybe ready, I'm saying there's still some risk. Let's start with low risk internal agents so that it helps team set up their own systems. And if we are ready, let's build. Then there are three more oh, directions we can go into. So why I'm saying that is that we need to be sure, like, are we really ready? That is what I'm saying. How much of the team goes into repeatable tasks? Do we know where the opportunity is, or do we need to figure it out? So it's like we are working with hypothesis. Again, I'll keep it short from here, and I'll share my tab from here now. So this is me on Salesforce ecosystem. I have been an outsider of the Salesforce ecosystem. I have been learning from the trails, which is like the best part of working with the Salesforce because it has a great content, great structured content for the beginners like me. And it has very like step by step process for it keeps beginners engaged. I got some points, I got some badges, none certification yet, and I've seen people going through 100, actually not 100 but 20, 30 certifications over the years. Being an outsider, I'm like, yeah, I'm just getting started. So these badges helped a lot. It trained me to look at how the system, the Salesforce ecosystem is designed, right? Let me jump into the Salesforce ecosystem now, like how much I know about this ecosystem. That was about me. Where are we going? Like actually building an agent to change the industry, right? There, that's where I plan to go, and maybe help the industry think from the like best case scenario, help them build. For the long term, which screen is currently shared? This one. So I'll jump to my agent screen. Yeah, share this tab. I built an error. I created an error in this recent agent which I built yesterday. So what did I do is that now the agent is not available. I don't know. So it's like I need to now do the root cause analysis. Being a beginner again, I will not be able to do a great job at this. I, but I know the issue I created in this scene, right? This agent is not really available. Agents are not available. What did I do is that I changed the omni-channel route, and that's what I have learned is that it the routing needs to be like very clear in the flow. So it's like now the conversation, the flow needs to be evoked when this agent icon is tapped, right? So the conversation needs to be transferred from the UI to the agent, which can have the conversation. Um, I need to do is I need to assign the right flow to this agent so that it works as expected. So when I just did the required change, I'll jump to the screen where I have the agent. I'll end this chat, just restarting. Now if I tap this button, it will start the conversation with the right agent, which basically means is that now the conversation is getting transferred to the right agent, and the flow is being managed. Um, and this is the proof, right? It is a career guidance agent now. This is the agent we built yesterday on live session like this. And I think I've been long into this session, about 37 minutes. Oh, let's keep it short. So I would like to connect few more pointers about flows and actions. So yesterday and day before yesterday, we talked about instructions. Um, what do I know about the bigger picture of the Salesforce Agentforce ecosystem is that this agent depends on three core things. That's my simplification. That's my perspective. Topics, actions, and instruction. Oh, sorry, instructions. Yeah. So topic is something like a common thing that starts with things. Instructions it are what define like what exactly needs to be done from the user input, and actions are like the task that needs to be done. So we'll get into the actions now. I'll just I'm not sharing the right dashboard. Yeah, so I'm going to look at actions. Okay, are we looking at the right things now? We should be looking for the flows. There are and flows may also not have actions. So, no. Let me recall actions. I'm just not able to recall. I just did it few minutes before the live session, so I think I will be able to find things from here. In the assets, may have it. Yeah, what I'm saying is that there are actions which are connected to the topics. So when we are going to create, when we want to create a new action, it will simply say that connect the right flow, right? Or there are multiple types of the references we can start with. Right? Actions. So let's just read the definition. Actions are how an agent gets things done. To create an agent action, start with the functionality you already have in the Salesforce. Right? We have something already, so it's like an operation that humans used to do. Now the agent will be doing. We just need to connect the right dots, such as flow or prompt template. Select an action you want the agent to reference, and then configure it for use with an agent. Hmm? If we have created a flow, we go with root. Oh, let me check. Let me check. Root. Oh, so these are the actions available, and we can choose some of them. Give it a label. Give it a API. And we can then customize that also. So not jumping into details about it. Now, the action, there can be multiple actions behind particular instruction, of course. What necessary product can be going. Let's look at the flows one more time and then maybe, because flows are technically actions. And let's try to look at the flow what we have in the current agent, right? So this is the, let's see. Do we understand what we are doing? Um, what we need to do here is this is my flow which I have added, which we have for our current agent. That it routes the conversation to the, it sends the conversation like messages and who this messaging to the agent, which responds to my messages. It's like a bridge. Um, this Einstein is trying to help me by suggesting that it can summarize my flows. Let's see how it what it does here. Now it is describing like what are we doing here, and it can add this flow description to where. The description of the flow itself, right? So, and this is the part where it is taking the ID of the current conversation and taking the channel to the messaging. Like now, we want to do it. How we want to do deal with this thing is that messaging. We route these conversations to the agent, and we choose the agent, and this is the agent we are working with, right? So the agent is responding to our messages. There's a fallback queue that takes care of overload work if there is some, and that's about it. There are multiple types of flows. I'm not going there right now. There are multiple actions that can be taken, which is like the task that needs to be done, that the task that humans used to do. So it's like I'm appreciating the depth of the Salesforce ecosystem. I want to take a moment to do that. Is that these sessions, this software is an outcome of the evolution of the last 25 years of evolution, right? It's like a mountain of software iterations which has evolved. So what you see on the screen is like is the tip of the iceberg. Like what we see is seems minimal. Seems like there are some options there, some are there, but it's so huge thing that people spend decades in this system and spend learning and doing certifications, and there's a lot inside that. It's just a setup. It's just a setup to do the basic configuration, and the whole new interface comes up after the setup that actually gets thing done, which supports businesses to evolve and run their operations in very structured ways, right? Which is Salesforce. That's what Salesforce is. And now the way it is evolving faster than anything, I'm like I'm awed by the experience I have. Right. So from next sessions, like upcoming sessions, I'll be preparing more carefully. I'll be coming up with more structured data to be helpful to the beginners as well as maybe target clients, right? What else do we have here? Ta-da, ta-da, do I have? One last thing. Yes. What is command center? Yeah, I'm a fan of analytics. Without analytics, how do we even deal with the agents, right? So it's like if we implement an agent, what do we have? An agent which works, but like how do we know if it is helpful? It may or may not do the needful. Um, so let's look at the command center. This is a recent update in the recent. Wait a second. I think it is a recent update by in the recent phase A update, right? Let me just search for the page. I'm searching for me. What is that? Is it like this? Yeah. Agent force 3. Yeah, no, oh no. Let's see. Does it does it talk about 3? Version 3? No, it doesn't talk about. So that's my understanding that this command center is a new upgrade in the newest upgrade in the latest version of Agent Force. And this is huge. It tells us what the agents are doing, how they are helping the organization, how the organization metrics are getting impacted with the help of agents. So let me forward this. Like look at this thing. Look at this full screen. It says sales revenue, how it has impacted over time by sales agents, right? We are only looking at the activities being done by the agents. So if this graph is broken, it can tell us there is something wrong, and we can go into the depth of actually doing the root cause analysis. I am a fan of root cause analysis. It tells us a lot about what's there, what's not there, what can be done, and it's like when we do the root cause analysis of a bug, like if there's some data that is like unexpectedly there, like if that a bug is a human error, right? Most probably it's a human error which goes into some way of actually doing the things that is not expected, right? Hmm. Right. So what they're saying is that for each type of the agent, sales agent or what is that? Service agents, right? So each type of agent has very different type of metrics that are necessary for us. So it works automatically, and it like I love the funnel format of data and data. Wait a second. So data is like a home, or data is like a power that superpower that people like us need to be able to make decisions, like in a research project, in any project. And every project is kind of is, I believe, is a research project. It's like if we don't, if we really know what we want to do, are we really doing the right thing? Huh? That was the short brief about Agent Force. That was thing like a importance of data. The command center, I think it can do a lot for us. But my current account in my developer account, the cloud core cloud resource cloud, I don't have access to the command center. It may be it may come with the paid versions. Right? I don't have command center, which is okay. It's like a data analytics. So I am a fan of Google Analytics. Not much. I have been a freelancer with sorry, CleverTap. That is the tool which I love the most for analytics, and uh, I kept my focus on. It trained me how I look at data. Hmm. That was kind of the first tool which I came across, and I love it very much. I have been working on both related projects as freelancer. So that's me. That's me in very short form. 50 minutes. Wow. So why would someone want to scan through these 50 minutes of video content? They can of course submit it to ChatGPT and get a uh, summary, get a transcription, and then some analyze that for their own use case. And I am sure people will be doing that in ways where I cannot even imagine. That's what we do these days for with the help of artificial intelligence, right? We speed up things, and that's what we are offering. That's what I'm offering. That's what I'm offering to the industry. I can iterate. I can ask questions. I can get into the depth of root, do the dirty things so that the rest of the things are supported in various ways we can think of. So soon, I think I will be building, on the top of my dummy agent, and I have this vibe coming up that I would like to implement the MCP. What I have, what I my expectation is that I will be able to talk to my Salesforce account, like actually talk like ChatGPT in a conversational way. There are some hacks, but let me, of course, experiment with that. I will try to set up an MCP server, an agent, and an agent to be able to talk to that my Salesforce account. So let's see. Uh, that's about it. I'll keep coming back with more structures. Tomorrow I should have more concise things to learn and teach, and for anyone who wants to watch. Today it was me talking about who am I, where I am, what I've done so far, and where I'm going. One last minute, I want to talk about my whole career, maybe. 1 minute is not enough, of course. I started my career in 2010. 2011, by the mid of that, I launched my first venture as an entrepreneur. Until 2015, I was only an entrepreneur. So when everybody around my network was my school, my college friends, were going into various modes of life, upgradations and countries, traveling and building their fortunes. I was experimenting with ideas, and that's me experimenting with ideas and researching and failing. Happy to fail. I know, I believe, strongly believe that research is the core part of life that needs to be taken care of because artificial intelligence will be able to do anything that that humans used to do. So we need to be able to do the research. We need to be able to be creative, connect the dots, do things that agents cannot. The artificial intelligence cannot. Are we ready for the fight with the agents? Let's build. Let's build, friends. Build the tools you want to see in the world. I want to read out my poem before I finish. I'll take it up from here. Here's my pen. I wrote up this poem after my first session, which I thought to when I thought to start doing this live broadcast. So after first session, I was like, "Oh man, I made a lot of mistakes in this session. How am I even going to be able to continue?" I'm going to read out my poem from here. I'll take a couple minutes. I have recorded another session with that. I'll be publishing that in a standalone way. So this is my poem, and I'm going to share my screen on that also. I'll just be reading first two three lines. The poem was written without the help of ChatGPT. The name and the image was done with the help of ChatGPT. Yes. If leverage comes from content and content gives you authority, if imagination defines your perspectives and perspective define your limits, I'm trying to inspire myself with that. If opinions, processes, and methods are all that matter, and opinions form actions, outcome, and build up confidence, all you need to do is continue writing your story in public. It's like following the process. That's all we need. Because writing is thinking and creating and patterns, and thinking helps you observe patterns. About patterns, what do we do about patterns? There are three core things about patterns: identify patterns, create patterns, and break patterns. That's what I'm also trying to intuitively and carefully teach my 3 years old sweetheart that what we do is we identify patterns, create patterns, and break patterns. If we are able to identify patterns, if we are able to break patterns, the growth is always there on the route, right? Uh, should I do that? I have this another thought. So I wrote a message to myself from 2018, and I want to share that on screen right now. Ta-da! Where's my document? Where's my post? Where's my post? Where's my post? I wrote a message to myself from 2018 that I had to remind myself in 2025. This is the great part, the greatest part of that inspires me. I inspire myself a lot. See this document? It was written in this page. This in 2018. It doesn't share the screen. And I said carefully in that thing that I'm learning two skills: philosophy and product management. 2018. Wow, this writing was like came out of me. I am still like in awe of my own writing. I'll read this out loud. Philosophy of existentialism says, ideally, in no case you should be thinking what others are thinking about you. Well, I think I don't care what you think. Let me tell you, I'm using this philosophy right now, and I'm not thinking what you are thinking. What I'm thinking because I am thinking only what I am thinking because I'm writing what I'm thinking and I'm also focusing on what I'm thinking. Am I doing two things at the same time, writing and thinking? I'm speaking, thinking right now. And look at the statement. If you read it in 2025, please remind me. That was the thing back in 2018. Like I was able to shoot for the stars. So I think I learned the basics of product management well philosophically, and I learned the philosophy to some extent. Now we are going to build agents for the universe. So that's all, friends. Let's build. Let's build. Let's build. Process is all we need. Have a good day.